A single girl I couldn't get over. And that girl was Ren. When I met Ren, it was like during like 8th grade year, you feel me? And when I first like saw her, I wasn't like immediately interested. It was more like, damn, she's just like a regular girl. But during that time frame, I was so interested in like my 3rd grade crush who was still, going to the school still. And like, yeah, like this one time, me and the bro was like having like a conversation over like who is the baddest in our class, and he was like, "Oh, Ren is," and I'm like, "Nah, 3rd grade girl is." But on one particular day, my homeboy said he's gonna ask Ren for a number, and I'm like, "Cool, it's okay. Like, I don't really care." You feel me? So he gets her number, and like they're talking, etc. Like every day type stuff. Now once I get to school, I'm like, damn, he in there like type shit. And as like time goes by, she like integrates in our friend group, and that friend group was me, Dion, who's my homeboy that I was just talking about, Ren, Deli, and Michaela. And like Deli and like Michaela are already like locked in, you know what I'm saying? And like it's just me, like fifth wheel because of Dion and Ren are talking. And like some weeks go by, and like on like this certain day, like Dion just not here, like he not at school, so it's just me, Deli, Michaela, and Ren. And like me and Ren are just talking, and like I get this idea, and the idea was, to like get her number. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, I was scared. Like I was damn near scared. I don't know why, I was just scared. I mean, it was middle school though, so like it just makes sense. But like I get her number and stuff, you know what I'm saying? We talk, we socialize, you know what I'm saying, etc. But during them days we started talking, you know what I'm saying, I started to like catch feelings. And like, when you catch feelings in middle school, it's more like a situation like you either gonna ask her out or you're not gonna ask her out. And like me, yeah, I'm gonna just keep going with the story. And like you gotta realize, like when I first saw her, I was like, dang, she not even like all that for real. But then as I started talking to her, I was like, dang, she low-key bad. Like she low-key, like she interesting. But now that I like think about it, she was better than most of my class back in 8th grade though. But that is besides the point though. But then like I asked Dion about, cause I'm catching feelings and stuff. And he's like, you should like ask her out during like the trip or something. I'm like, all right, bet. So the day comes, and like I'm sitting next to Dion, and he's like telling her that like I want to say something to her. I'm like, nah, I don't. And yes, I was being scary. Yes, I was being scary. So during the trip, I was just dodging her the entire time. My homeboy then asks me questions on when I'm gonna do it. I'm like, I don't know when. It's gonna be whenever I feel like doing it. And me now, I'm like, dang, I was really scary. Like I was really scary. And like, you know what I'm saying? Now, I think I'd rather just pull up on her and be like, all right, can you be my girlfriend? Like, or just be like, be doing something smooth or something like. But then I at home and I'm in my bed. My homeboy calls me, he talking about I sold. And I'm like, you was already going at this already. But I like digress from this, because that's not the point of this video. So I tell him I'm gonna ask her right now, and he's like, bet. And he said, tell me afterwards. So I text her, and she says, hey. And I'm like, do you remember what Dion said? And like she said, yeah. Then she said, like, what was it? And I'm gonna say this now. Don't ever ask a girl over text. I'm not gonna lie. I think they would rather hear your voice than looking at paper or letters. And I typed this with pure confidence, and it said, will you be my girl? And I waited for a response, you know what I'm saying? And like 1 minute goes by, 10 minutes go by. Then I look back at my phone, and I was left on scene. Yes, I got left on scene and everything. And I was like, damn. And then I told my homeboy, and he's like, damn, you might as well wait until tomorrow. And that day after tomorrow, right, we had school. So I go to school the next day, right? And like everybody just staring at me. I'm like, what's going on? And I realized what I did last night. It's like, oh, everybody must know now. And then when my friends put up on me, put their shoulders around me, everything, it's like, I'm gonna just put you on, bro. I'm like, what you mean? Then I just look at Ren, and she's just looking at me. And I'm looking at Dion, and he's like, I don't know. And after that, I just didn't really care as much. I low-key just went on with my day. And like the friend group was still functional, but like it was more, like tension around me and Ren. And then I started to realize something between Ren and Dion. And they like these. Then I just started thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm gonna just let him have her. Like, it don't really matter, because like he was already hooping on it first. Like, I just came in and just felt like doing that. So I just like let him cook, like just let him hoop type shit. Then he calls me. He's just going on and on about her. Like, I'm like, bro, just ask her out at this point. Then he says, I might just. And I'm like, might just what? And then he says, I might just ask her out. And my heart just like dropped like super fast. Then I just said, yeah. And like I just hung up. Then I just had a random thought, and I just text Ren. And like what I said was, do you like Dion? And she says, I'm sorry that I hit y'all with a tubie, but if I keep going on about this, it's gonna be long as hell. This is some long lore. Like I can go on and on about this, but remember this, as I always say, always keep chasing the bag, never give up on the bros.